The first of these incidents, a wealthy Natukotai Chetayar came to the great saint of South India, the Kanchi Shankaracharya, and told him that he was initiated into the Ori Pancha Shara mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, by 3 different great sannyasins on 3 different occasions. But though he was sincerely doing its japa, there was seemingly no benefit, and he pleaded with the saint that he be given a fresh mantra, for he believed only in japa marga. The acharya told him that he would give him the initiation the next day, and that he should come prepared for that and accept the mantra with one pointed attention and total acceptance. The next day, the initiation took place. The acharya told him, "The Shankaracharya of the Kamakoti Pitham is now initiating you into this mantra. Receive it with all reverence." The mantra given was Om Namah Shivaya. The Chetayar received it with such reverence and attention that it started working on him instantaneously. This Chetayar, we are told, later became a great japa yogi. The second instance involves a reputed traditional Ayurvedic physician in Kerala. He was not only respected as an excellent physician, but also revered as a saint in his region for his upright character, undivided dedication to his profession, and effecting an almost 100% cure to all diseases. His name was Dr. Moose. He came and examined Bhagavan Ramana's cancer in the arm and openly expressed, "The body of a yani is not subject to the laws of ordinary nature. I know I can cure this disease on anyone else, but I can't even presume to cure a yani's physical ailment, for its appearance has multi-dimensional reasons, not merely physical ones. Sri Bhagavan himself knows best. He has to cure himself." After he left, Sri Bhagavan complimented Dr. Moose, saying, "A man of true knowledge, and he knew what he spoke." One day, a patient came to him writhing with intense stomach pain. He told the doctor that being a wealthy man, he had gone even to England and taken various treatments, but nothing helped him. Ultimately, he had started taking only Ayurvedic medicines. He said that he had consulted the best Ayurvedic physicians in Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, and West Bengal, and that none of their treatments could cure him. Dr. Moose examined his pulse and gave him a particular Timbic-like medicine. Seeing it, the patient reacted with great disappointment. "Oh no, this is the same medicine all those doctors in all the 3 states gave me. No, it does not work at all." Dr. Moose, in a tone filled with authority, power, and conviction, commanded, "I, Dr. Moose, am now giving you this Arishtam. This will cure you. Stay here for 3 days. Now, take the first dose of it right now in my presence." The patient was cured completely within those 3 days. In this regard, I want to quote the very significant passage in Talks with Sri Ramana Maharshi, wherein Sri Bhagavan clarifies the necessity of the competency of the one who ventures to initiate another into a mantra. A devotee asked him, Can anyone get any benefit by repeating sacred syllables, mantras, picked up casually? And Sri Bhagavan told him, no, he must be competent and initiated in such mantras. And then the Maharshi illustrated this by the following story. A king visited his prime minister in his residence. There he was told that the prime minister, the premier, was engaged in repetition of sacred syllables, japa. The king waited for him, and on meeting him, asked what the japa was. And the prime minister said that it was the holiest of all, the Gayatri. And the king desired to be initiated by the premier. But the premier confessed his inability to initiate him. Therefore, the king learned it from someone else. And meeting the minister later, he repeated the Gayatri and wanted to know if it was right. The minister said that the mantra was correct, but it was not proper for him to say it. When pressed for an explanation, the minister called to a page close by and ordered him to take hold of the king. The order, of course, was not obeyed, and it was repeated and still not obeyed. Then the king flew into a rage and ordered the same man to hold the minister, and it was immediately done. The minister laughed and said that was the incident, that was the explanation required by the king. How? Asked the king. The minister replied, the order was the same, and the executioner also, but the authority was different. When I ordered, the effect was nil, whereas when you ordered, there was immediate effect. Similar it is with mantras. Mataji made me stay for a full 2 months at Anandashram with her. During that period, many absorbing things happened. Of course, every day the morning darshan and an hour's proximity to Mataji was my true elixir. During the early part of my stay, the Navaratri festival was being observed and joyously celebrated all over India. At Sri Ramanasramam, the idol of goddess Yogambai would be taken out in procession and kept outside its usual inner shrine, where it would be decorated attractively for 9 nights to depict various divine aspects of the Holy Mother. After the 9th night, the idol would be carried again in a procession back to the inner shrine. Every year, I used to actively participate in this festival. I used to take special delight in carrying the idol of the Holy Mother on both the occasions of bringing it out and taking it back. One day, I got a letter from Sri Ramanasramam that it was the day that the Mother Yogambal was being carried out and that they all would miss me. I was deeply sad that I would miss the privilege of being one of the carriers of the Holy Mother Yogambal. That afternoon, someone came to my room and told me that Mataji was calling me. When I reached the hall, I saw a chair tied to 2 long poles and devotees talking excitedly. From one of them, I came to know that Mataji, who was bedridden, had suddenly expressed that she wanted to visit Puja Papa's Samadhi and pay her homage. Since doctors had strictly prohibited her from walking, Swami Satchidananda had suggested that she be carried on a chair. By the time Mataji came to the hall, it started drizzling. She was then helped with some difficulty to sit on the chair. Unexpectedly, she turned to me and said with a smile that I should be in the front, the exact position that I used to occupy while carrying the idol of Mother Yogamba at Sri Ramanasramam. We all joyously carried her on our shoulders out of the hall. I was in ecstasy, since I clearly saw Mataji's divine hands behind this most compassionate act of fulfilling a simple need of mine. On the way, when people held out an umbrella over Mataji, she said, "Hold it over Ganesha. He is getting drenched." When I heard my name being mentioned by Mataji, I strained and turned back to look at her eyes, full of gratitude and joy. She smiled at me and raised her hand by way of blessing and said, "Are you happy now?" The acts of saints are supremely compassionate. Never before and never after did Mataji ever sit on a chair and ask others to carry it. For me, there was no doubt that she was doing that only to appease my longing to carry the Holy Mother on my shoulders. What a blessing to me that I could happily and joyously carry my sacred Mother Yogamba, that too in flesh and blood, on my shoulders. I should definitely have accrued great merit in hundreds of past lives to have this one single act of grace descend on me. No one knew why Puja Mataji acted as she did on that sacred day, nor did I dare to even vaguely express to anyone that she was doing it for my sake. The relationship between a saint and a devotee is inscrutable. Anything can happen at any time. But one thing is sure, it is always to the benefit of the devotee.